Good morning, class. I just want to give you a couple of reminders. As you know, I'm not in class today. And before you get started on your two activities today, the first one of which will be to work on your My World GIS climate change Greenland melting activity for about half the period. And then the second activity will be to watch the second half of the video, Oil and Ice. I think you'll find that very interesting. So as a reminder on opening this data set, you're going to go into the shared drive and then click on Science, find my folder, click on my folder, click on the Glaciers folder, and the first file up in the top left-hand corner should be Climate Change Greenland. Double click that and let it go ahead and open up. Once you have that file open, I'm just going to drag my file over. There's a couple of reminders for you about the way that you're going to work with this file. Anytime it tells you to add data, you're not going to use that button to add data. You're going to go back to the shared drive to add your data. You already remember from yesterday that clicking in the box turns on and off a layer. Clicking on the layer itself activates the layer. When the layer is turned on and activated, then you can use the pull-down menus to make changes as you need to. If you're looking for a data table for the data for a particular layer, the only way that you can see that data table is if that layer is activated. So whatever layer is activated, here in this case elevation and bathymetry, if I click on the data table, that's the data set that will open up for me. Other tools that you'll need to be using today will be the Analyze tool. This opens the window. Your lab gives you specific details on what you should be selecting by, and then once you've selected, on what you need to put in each one of the categories. So please follow those carefully. That means going back and reading through your lab again. Another thing you'll be doing today is making map tables down in the bottom left-hand corner. If you click on map tables, that expands that area. You can then click to make a new map table. It tells you what type to make. The first one you'll make is side by side. Just to remind you how you make the side-by-side map table, you set up your first map. You simply create your map table and then go down and hover your cursor over the first box. Click there once and that will place that map into the table in that location. You would then set up your second map. Here I'm just adding the Greenland melting extents by year. And then all I need to do is click there. And that adds the second map. If you want to view your table, all you have to do is click open and you can view the map side by side. It's going to take a little bit of time here for the data set to load, but there you can see you have the elevation and bathymetry map next to the melting map. Okay? So that's how you make your map table and then you view your map table. Other things that you'll need to do when you get up to the section on albedo and feedback loops, remember that we went through that PowerPoint together in class yesterday. That was shared with you in your email. If you'd like to go back in and look at those images, hop into your email, pull up that document, the shared presentation with you, and you should be able to get answers for that. And then in the next section, part 3, the section on flow in the ice sheet, where you're filling out the chart on the ice thicknesses and the velocities, make sure that you zoom way in. When you turn on your velocity gates, I'm going to turn them on here for you. All of these green locations is where the velocity gates are. You're really going to want to zoom into a specific area and then go in and use your measurement tool to measure the distance in between pairs of gates. And you can read off your distances down at the bottom of your page. So I hope you have a great time working with this activity today in class. After about half an hour, I'm going to ask the sub to put the video in, and you're going to watch about half an hour of this video. Really great look at what's happening up in Alaska, at the natural reserve that's there, and some very interesting ethical questions about whether we should be disrupting that environment for the purposes of searching for oil there and pumping oil from that region. So we'll be talking about that in class on Wednesday, and we'll be finishing up the GIS